welcome once again to the Masked Fan Attic above Horror Hotel. You know, I think everybody that has an attic enjoys rooting around in it every now and then and exploring it and looking for all the weird, cool things you might find in an attic. Don't you think? Everybody likes to dig through the attic every now and then. You know, you might find really interesting things of sentimental value. You might find things like old family photos, old family records. In my case, just old family. And gosh, some people put things in the attic like, you know, baby booties and, oh, things from school and, well, like your first childhood teddy bear might be something you'd find in an attic. So it's good to have an attic. I think if you can buy a house with an attic, you probably should. This is Bear Bear, by the way. But the reason you're here, I know, is for something of a little less sentimental value and a little more, the grotesquerie than sentimentality. So we're going to look for a mask. And oh, what do you know? I just happened to see one right now. And it is none other than a bump in the night Igor. That's right, Igor. Now this particular Igor, by the way, it's spelled I-G-O-R, and that's how most people would typically expect to spell Igor, and that's how most of the movies spell it. But, and here's the big but, the original Igor of classic horror tradition, as played by Bela Lugosi in Son of Frankenstein way back in 1939, his name was actually spelled Y-G-O-R. Not I, but Y. So you have to go with that old world spelling if you're talking about the original Igor from the old black and white movies. But latter day Igors are generally spelled with I's. And you can remember that because this one even has an I. So this particular Igor is from the Dr. Shocker and Igor show. This is Chuck Williams. Now, for those of you who don't know Chuck, our good friend Dan Roebuck plays a character called Dr. Shocker, who's sort of a Zachary looking, old ghoulish old man looking character, and his assistant is Igor, as played by Chuck Williams. Now, these characters were first seen in their special called Halloween: The Happy Haunting of America. Yes, I almost said the twice just then. Don't listen to that. It's Halloween: The Happy Haunting of America, which came out in 1990 something. 4, 5, 7? Somewhere in there. 7, I think. Yes, I'm going to go with 7. But in any case, Chuck Williams does play Igor, and now Dr. Shocker and Igor have a horror host show where they come on and answer letters from viewers, and they show scary movies every week. Now, they don't really do that. That's just who the characters are. So in the context of Halloween: The Happy Haunting of America and other things Dan and Chuck have done with the Dr. Shocker and Igor characters, that's part of the shtick. And since the Halloween Happy Haunting of America, since then they have played Dr. Shocker and Igor in some other productions and a lot of Halloween events, live action events, and some other things. So there's not really a weekly television show, at least there isn't right now. Although it could happen, you know. I remember. Do you remember back in the '80s? Do you remember Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee started out with part of his shtick was that his character hosted a Saturday morning TV show, and at the beginning there wasn't one, but eventually Pee Wee did get a show. So maybe that'll happen with Dr. Shocker and Igor. Maybe Chuck Williams will be the Pee Wee of the 21st century. You know, the Pee Wee of horror. I don't know. But anyway, great mask here from Bump in the Night, and they only made 200 of them, and most of them came with the tag initialed by Dan and Chuck right there, and this is number 112 of the 200, it says. Now, some of the Igor masks were a kind of a pink color, and I don't know how this looks on your home monitor, kids, but actually it's kind of it kind of looks like the color that glow-in-the-dark stuff looks when it isn't glowing in the dark, like a pale greenish color. Some of them were a pinkish flesh, some of them were the greenish. I don't know why the difference. Maybe they just wanted to make him a little more monstery or a little more retro looking. I don't know. But the great thing is, some masks you really need to know the movie to appreciate the mask or to like the mask, because if you just saw the mask on its own, you might not think it was such a great design because, well, for whatever reason. Yeah, I'm looking at you, the mole people. But that's not the case here, that you have to know who Igor is. If you don't know about the Chuck and Dan Thing or Dr. Shocker and Igor or any of this. This is just a great mask because it just looks like a creepy, frizzy-haired, unshaven, weird guy with one dislocated eyeball. Pretty nicely painted. The hair is rooted, which means sewn into the latex. The beard, I'm not sure how they did that exactly. It looks a little different from mask to mask, the pattern of the beard and mustache on him. I think what they do is spray it with glue and then drop it on the floor at the barber shop. I think that's how they achieve this effect. Pretty sure that's correct. Now, the eyebrows really could stand to be thicker, bushier than they do it on the mask. I don't know why they do them kind of slim like this, but hey, if you're into customizing and, you know, augmenting your masks and customizing them, you might want to glue some bushier eyebrows on there. But nice frizzy hair, got a slit up the back so you can wear it. Now, these sold for around 40 bucks originally. However, I have seen them marked down to like 20. If you can score this cool of a mask for 20 bucks, holy jumpin' Armando de Osorio, such a deal, you know? And I've just got some white paper stuffed in there so you can see where his good eye is cut out. I think you can see that. But great mask. Actually looks like Chuck in the makeup too. It's a very good sculpture. Sculpted by another Chuck, Chuck Jarman of Bump of the Night Productions, or as it is now called, Bump of the Night FX. So look online, or from your favorite mad scientist, look through his dungeon and laboratory and so forth, and find yourself one of these cool, very economically priced, limited edition Igor masks. And while you go do that, I'm going to go look for something even more horrible than Chuck Williams for next week. And good job with this, both Chucks. Good job on the part of both Chucks. Chuck A and Chuck B, we'll call them. Good night, everybody. Drive safely.